Andy, lovely to meet you. Where exactly are you based right now?
So I'm sat at home, but I live and work from an office in Porthleven.
Porthleven in Cornwall.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. It's good to meet you. Although we have briefly spoken on the phone before, but it was through a press release from Paddy that came to us at Scubaverse, and it was about Dive Project Cornwall, which I'm just reading from it now, to educate the next generation of ocean torchbearers, which sounds fantastic. But within that press release was your name as project director. So hence our interview, and perhaps you could tell us a bit more about the project.
Yeah, certainly. So the project is in two strands, really. One part of it is an education program. The education program is in two parts. It's in secondary schools, being sent through the Marine Conservation Society to all secondary schools in the UK. The other part of the education program is to adults through various audience providers, as we're calling them. So we've got various media partners like Scubaverse. We've got various collaborating charities. We've got the dive centres. We've got Paddy. We've got our sponsors, all of which have got an audience, and they're going to be sharing our messages, promoting the project for all to see, so that everyone can start thinking about marine conservation and educating them about why it's so important to save our ocean. With the schools campaign, the hook to get the schools to engage and to inspire engagement from the schools is a competition. And the competition is to bring 400 kids down to Cornwall to learn to scuba dive for a week's holiday. And we're aiming that at kids that probably wouldn't get the chance to even see the ocean, let alone get in and get underneath the waves.
400, that's a great number. That's fantastic. You don't see many competitions with that many winners. That's brilliant.
So what we've done, Jeff, is we've divided the country up into 20 different regions, and there's one prize per region. So one school per region will win a prize, and that prize being to bring 20 of their kids down to Cornwall for that diving experience at Porthcaris in Cornwall.
Fantastic. Tell me, how did the project come about? Is that something from Paddy or something from yourself? I mean, how did it all start and get together?
So I've been dive mastering for a couple of years now at Porthcaris. I've only been diving for actually 5 years, but I seem to have got the bug, let's say. I've done almost 500 dives in 5 years. And I've been dive mastering at Porthcaris, and I seem to have been appointed the sort of junior dive master. So when kids come along, I take the kids in the pool or do a lot of try dives. I really enjoy it. The kids seem to really enjoy it. It's very, very rewarding seeing their faces going under the waves for the first time. And I said to my instructor, a guy called David Roberts, wouldn't it be great to try and get more kids down into diving and get them to see what's under the waves and to make sure they appreciate the ocean and that we start to look after the ocean. And if we can educate the next generation, then that's going to be the future of the ocean, the future of the planet. So I sort of started throwing around a few ideas about how that might happen and came up with the idea for Dive Project Cornwall.
What was the reception you got straight away? I mean, you've got Paddy on board. I assume you've got some other, well, actually looking at your website, you've got other sponsors with you as well, quite a few good people there. Did it take much persuasion?
I've been very lucky, actually. The first person I met to discuss the project was Paul Strike, who's the founder at Fourth Element. Paul was actually born in the village that I live in now, in Porthleven. So local company, big brand in diving. And I went to see Paul just to throw around some ideas of the project. And he absolutely loved it. And he's been absolutely fantastic. He's our founding sponsor. He immediately offered some money for the project, which is amazing. And he then introduced me to Paddy. And I went to see Rich Somerset and the team, Emma Samuelson, at Paddy. And they absolutely loved the idea as well. And they immediately offered us 400 certifications free of charge as part of their sponsorship package. So that was an incredible reception from Paddy, and they're really well behind the project, hence the press release to you guys, and they're doing everything they can to support the project. And then Paul introduced me to Ryan Crawford, who's Sunto in the UK and Boshat in the UK. And again, Ryan just absolutely loved the idea, said, we've got to be part of this, Andy, what do you need, basically? And we've done a deal with Kit, and he's now one of our main sponsors. The story continued with the Marine Conservation Society when I went to see them, and they jumped on board, seeing this as a real hook for the schools, because they're trying to run an education program, and the schools get bombarded with different things that they can use to educate the kids. And we feel that this is obviously a key thing to save the planet and protect the ocean. And the idea of the competition for the Marine Conservation Society was a hook that they needed to be able to engage with more schools. So that, yeah, I've been very lucky, Jeff. I met some absolutely fantastic people, and still meeting lots of fantastic people, and many people are getting involved with the project more and more every day. And it's going relatively well, let's say.
So what stage actually are you at the moment?
So between now and December is to try and finish off understanding where the funding, where the money is going to come from to pay for the project. We're just under halfway on the target money that I would like to raise to run the project. And we've got a minimum budget, but I would like to make it very, very special for the kids. So the more money we raise, the better the project's going to be. We've set up a not-for-profit community interest company. So every penny we raise is going back into the project. I'm funded through my media company, who's one of our sponsors as well. So I'm not drawing a salary. I'm just doing this as a passion project. It's something that I do is the last launch, if you like, that I do. And between now and Christmas, we want to finish off the funding and raise the awareness of the project. The competition to schools then goes live in January. And through January, February, March, we'll be engaging with all of the schools, sharing our education tools to them, so that they can start educating the kids in their schools about the importance of the ocean. And then in May, we'll draw the winners, and the first diving is in September 2022. And we do 5 weeks in September and October 2022, and 15 weeks in April to July 2023. So lots of time, we're getting there, and you know, we need to find more supporters, more sponsors, and more money. Unfortunately, I'm a bit like Bob Geldof, Jeff, shouting at everybody to give me money at the moment. So that's what's going to drive the project, basically.
Of course, as always. But I mean, it sounds like you're banking on money and sponsors in the private sector, from businesses, from, I don't know, charities, maybe, whatever. But it's such an important aspect of all our lives, and certainly the kids. Is there anything to come from education, funding, or, you know, from the government at all?
I've applied for a couple of grants. Unfortunately, we've been declined. They don't. A lot of the grants don't actually like startups, so they want you to be already running, which is you know, how a lot of that works. I'm researching various funding around the schools, and maybe the winning schools, when we get there, might be able to raise some funding from the People's Premium Fund. So we're looking into various aspects. We're quite resourceful in looking around for every single opportunity to raise money, whether that's through sponsorship or grant funding. I'm working with Oxford Innovation, which is a company based in Cornwall, who are helping us to apply for all the grant applications, and we're doing what we can to find that money to drive the project, basically.
Yeah, it's I always find this so disappointing. You know, I mean, there's great projects like yours, you know, and the government and our local councils talk about conservation and putting things right, and it's almost impossible to get any funding or support from them. I find it extraordinary. It's a great sadness, and it gives me great doubts for the future. So I love hearing about your projects, about your project in particular, and it seems such a shame that it's up to us as individuals to make this work, you know. I mean, if individuals are important, of course, but governments really should be behind us a bit more.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to get, to get some grant funding. As I say, every penny is going to go back into the project, and I think, the more you raise, the better the project will be. The more things I can do that we want to do in terms of the talks and the education. We could do more, get more money, train more kids. It's really quite simple. So we'll carry on, and as I say, we've got some great sponsors and some great supporters. We've built some sponsorship packages which kind of suit anyone's needs. So we've got a Dive Buddy sponsor, which is £150, where you can basically sponsor one of the children, and you get a named kid that you can follow and be part of their follow their future as they progress through life. So that's quite a nice sponsorship for an individual or small business. That's called Dive Buddy. We're also looking for school week hosts. That's companies to sponsor a week. So maybe corporate companies. For example, we met a great lady at Burgess Salmon, which is a large law firm in Bristol, and they've stumped up the £3,975 to sponsor the school week from Bristol, so that the school coming down from Bristol will be sponsored by Burgess Salmon, and that really fits with their corporate and social responsibility. They are already doing a lot in the schools and in the community, and that really shows their investment in the local community. They're going to have some great PR and marketing materials as a result of the project. It's quite unique, and they're supporting the local area, which is absolutely fantastic. So we're looking for more school week hosts around. Dive centres can get involved with that. We've got some dive centres that have signed up to the school week host, and they're actually fundraising to pay for it. So that's a really nice way of getting the local community around their dive centre to be part of the project. I had one company who's one of our school week hosts. They actually did a quiz night and raised £150 towards their sponsorship. So, it's things like that. And if we can all work together and do our little bit, then the project's going to happen, and it's going to make a massive difference to, hundreds of thousands of kids in schools. It's going to educate millions of adults. And obviously there's those 400 kids that are going to come down and have an absolutely life-changing experience. So, yeah, it's quite something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering how it's going to work. Are you introducing new things into schools now, or are you dovetailing into programs that already exist? Or is there so little education about this in schools that you really have to start from the beginning?
So the Marine Conservation Society already run a schools education program and engage with some schools. As I say, they've sort of had mixed feedback from schools across the UK. So they see the competition that we've produced as a real hook to inspire and engage the schools. And what we're doing is we're coordinating lots of other charities. So all of our sponsors, all of our collaborating charities are producing different educational tools. So we've got a whole suite of different papers and workshops and worksheets, webinars and seminars that we're pulling together, so that when the school engage with the initial video that we send out, they can take their pick of other things that they can take to educate the kids. But everyone's doing their bit, trying to do it in isolation, and what we're really doing is coordinating that centrally to make it one concerted effort, and all working together with various companies, Blue Marine Foundation, Shark Guardian. So lots and lots of charities getting involved with the project as well to pool our efforts of getting more kids educated.
So I assume you've got a little bit of a team with you, or are you, or not?
It's been very much me full time. So I was 21 2 weeks ago, but now I look at 50. It's been pretty much me from the start. I had a young guy who's going to be involved with the project all the way through. He's a marine biology student called Joan. He's been with me. He's been amazing for 6 weeks to help me get the project started and to do a lot of the admin that's needed in the background. And then next week I've employed a project manager 3 days a week who's going to come on board and help to run the project while I continue to chase the fundraising and the sponsorship. And then eventually we'll have 6 instructors employed by the project, obviously doing the dive training. And we'll probably need one other person to run the site at Porthcerris. I'm speaking to Joe and Mike at Porthcerris presently, and we've got a meeting at the end of October as to how that might work next year. So yeah, at the moment it's me, but we're going to build a team very, very slowly and surely, because obviously, you know, a team costs money. So we'll do that very carefully and bring the right people in at the right time.
Yeah, good luck. Crikey. It's always difficult getting the right people in that team. That's one of the biggies. Tell me, what age groups are you starting and finishing at?
With the kids,
Yeah.
It's open to all secondary schools. So the education program is for any kid in a secondary school at any age, through those years. It's 11 to 16. The kids that will come diving will have to be 14 plus. Mm-hmm. So it will probably be 14 and 15 years old in years 10 and 9 and 10, because obviously year 11 is GCSE year. So that's going to be a little bit difficult for them to probably get the time, but it will be up to the school to decide which kids come. And I expect schools will end up running internal schools competitions to have to find the 20 kids.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you, and I love the project, and I wish you great success with it. I mean, it's so important to get it up and running. It's if people want to help you out in any way at all, how can they get involved? So, you know, we're very, very keen to speak to anybody about any aspects of the project. Obviously, there's a focus on the money. Sorry to say that bit again, Jeff. But, you know, if people are interested in sponsoring, or they just want to get involved and help out, or they've got any ideas, if you're a school, then look out for the competition launching in January. But we're endeavouring to get back to everybody that contacts us by email. You can email me at andy@diveprojectcornwall.co.uk, or feel free to give me a call on my mobile, which is 077 111 60 590, and I'm sure Jeff will have those numbers and contact details on screen as well at some point. So yeah, just feel free if you want to find out more about the project, if you want to get involved with the project in any way, if you want to help me make a difference and save the ocean, then just get in touch. I'm more than keen to speak to anybody about the project. Yeah, most certainly will. I'll put on your phone number and the email and the website as well, because it's a brilliant website. I mean, that's really cool. Once again, great to talk to you. Good luck with it all. We'll keep in touch over it, because, you know, anything that Scubaverse can do to help you promote things, you know, we'd be more than happy to. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, Jeff, and thanks very much for everyone for listening. Thank you. Take care now.